What's good, podcast world? What's good, YouTube?
Sixers are in trouble. I need a top 5.
Man, let's get into best of the week, man. What's good, podcast world? What's good, YouTube? Back for another episode of Charge It to the Game Sports and Sports Betting Podcast, brought to you by the BetUS Sports app, Simply 8 Vitamin Gummies, man. As you can see, the whole crew's here and joined by very special guests, man. Former Super Bowl champion, quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, Brad Johnson. Brad, what's up, brother?
Doing great, man. Appreciate y'all having me on your show, man. It's that time of year for playoffs and dreams to come true. So it's getting stakes are getting high.
I know that. I know that's right, man. Like I said, it's thanks for coming on again, man. But everybody, we're gonna chop it up and get right into it, man. We're gonna be talking a little bit about this national championship game that was played last night, talking some Bucs football, and just diving into it, man. So without further ado, man, before we get into that, Brad, man, I wanted to talk it up with you. I think your IG, man, and it's just kind of crazy with all the TikToks, man. You're like your TikTok sensation, man. So let's talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, TikTok, man. I'm 54 years old and living on TikTok, crazy stuff. So no, I've had fun with it. And when I first got on there about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was putting in my workout videos on there and some highlights of my playing career, the good and the bad, all the sacks, all the hard hits. I did one about a week ago, actually, with LeVar Arrington, who hit me the hardest. All the highlights of him taking me out and all the other quarterbacks. But I've done a lot of the videos on there. And basically, it's trick shots of football and basketball. Played a couple years of basketball at Florida State, so I can kind of do all those kind of things. And usually it's about making multiple shots in a row, 3, 4, maybe 5 shots in a row instead of just standing out there with a baseball bat trying to hit a basketball the length of the court. But I've had fun doing it. And when I make these shots, it's true jubilation. You see the celebration, man. I tell people it's, sometimes it's first time, first take. Sometimes it's a lifetime of practice. Yeah. And sometimes it takes what it takes. So my longest one that I've done, it took me 15 hours. And wow. Usually I've made it so hard now, honestly, it takes about 7 to 7.5 hours. That's about 3 days of work to one, to figure out the rhythm of how I'm going to do it, 2, the angle, it's me and a tripod camera, and then 3, actually making it. So it's a process, but it's fun to do. So hopefully everyone's enjoy it.
That's what's up, man. Every time I watch these videos, I'm like, yo, you got some nice touch, man. Like you got your jumper must be cold.
Yeah. No, it's I grew up. I mean, listen. I'm gonna show you something real quick here. Okay, this is my room. You're in my ping pong room here. See all those pictures down there of Larry Bird?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Larry boy. Larry legend.
I grew up on a dirt road up in North Carolina, and I want to be like Larry Legend. And so I grew up playing basketball. Scored 2,400 points in high school, and played 2 years in college basketball. But knew my level was actually going football if I was ever going to go pro. But I love basketball, and that's kind of incorporated both into all my trick shots on TikTok.
That's what's up, man. And like I said, it's like now, man. I don't know what to call you. Is it Brad Johnson or Big Bad Brad? I mean, it's just like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Like I know you as Brad, Brad Johnson, my quarterback in my Buccaneers. Now it's like who is this guy? It's Big Bad Brad.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's good you say that. I had my nickname in college, and actually the whole pro career was the Bull. So all my pro friends, all my college guys, they know me as the Bull when they refer to me. But then this TikTok thing, I just go by Big Bad Brad. So, I mean, I'll be walking sometimes into a convenience store. I'm walking to some football game. People recognize me. Hey, this Big Bad Brad. So hey, it's on. And then I say, yeah, backed by a popular man. Popular on the East Coast, popular on the West Coast, and everywhere in between. So it's a show. It's fun. It's all that stuff's on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. It's crazy. So I've had fun with it. But call me whatever you want. We had fun with it.
I don't know. I like Big Bad Brad. I'm with it.
But Big Z and Jay, man, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say congratulations. I saw you were elected to the Hall of Fame for the National Quarterback Club.
It's a pretty cool deal. It's a club that's been around for about 25 years or so, and they honor the high school quarterback of the year, they honor the college quarterback of the year. So they've had Bryce Young and Mac Jones and a lot of guys like that, and then they honor about 3 pros a year, quarterbacks, and they're kind of backlogged a little bit, so they're trying to put a bunch of guys in. And this year's my honor. We'll do it in Arizona. I'm going in with Michael Vick and Ron Jaworski. So a lot of great quarterbacks will be there. It's a golf tournament that's involved with it. And so it's pretty cool that I just, kind of keeping the mainstream of all, 17-year career and be a part of it. So I'm very thankful to be honored, for that.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Jay, what you got, bro?
Well, no, I mean, I was going to more so ask about the TikTok, but we already knocked that out. I was more so about to ask about the setups and everything like that, but bro, you went straight into it as you was talking about it.
Yeah, so. that TikTok thing, honestly, I'll go out there and it's me, a tripod, and then if sometimes you have somebody filming it, but then they get tired or lazy or they don't have the red light on. If it's not on camera, it never happens. So,
right.
But the hardest part is entertaining the camera and making all the shots and all the different angles, 2 different basketball goals or whatever I'm doing out there, and then just be able to entertain this thing. But when it happens, it is true jubilation. And but you'll see the sweat coming down my face, and it's for real. It's fun.
No, I was about to say, I know there's some hard work on it. I was wondering. I was like, is he doing this by himself? I don't know.
Yeah, I chase all the balls, and I've done a few of the no things too now. Like. Sometimes I want to kick the ball over the trees, or it's some funny stuff that happens out there. But the one thing I'll be honest with you is it's almost like therapy to me, honestly. Like it's a goal. Like you start in this thing, it's a goal, and you make 1 shot or 2 shots, and you start missing the 3rd shot. Then you're making the 3rd shot, then you can't make the 1st shot. Like it becomes like you can get really upset. And honestly, when I start, especially when I do my monologue and I'm talking to the camera, like. Big Bad Brad, back by popular demand, that kind of stuff. But it's really every time I try to make it the first take, like I have to enjoy myself, and I kind of feel when it's going to happen. And but it's a thing of don't give up. Honestly, don't give up, and then just kind of it's a confidence thing. A lot of times that 5th shot is the hardest one, so it's tough to make, and that's why it's a jubilation when it works.
Yeah, man. Like some of these shots, I'm just like, how in the hell does he make these? Like it's Steph Curry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like level, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Now you got the kids doing it, after practice and all of this and that. So I wanted to ask you, like, how do your sons, do they kind of chime in with it as well, or are they not so good at it?
No, they just like, there goes dad again. You know what I mean? All right. There he goes. He's got a camera and he's looking for a ball. They just kind of let me go with it. But we're always competing around the house. We're playing ping pong, pickleball, shuffleboard, darts, pool. Something's always up. And winner takes all, but it's competitive around here. But then, if they see a camera and a tripod, they know something's getting ready to happen. So.
Man, let's segue into some of this college football stuff, man. I know we chopped it up and talked a little bit before you came on about this national championship game. I don't even know if it was a game or not, man. It was more like an ass whooping. TCU and Georgia, man. Like, what did you see out of that game?
Well, I almost got to go back to the Final Four. 2 weeks ago when, Ohio State and Georgia played and TCU and Michigan played, those plays, that was an exciting day of football.
Incredible.
There was a lot. There was a lot of points scored on both ends. It came down to the final drive on both ends. Came down the final kick on New Year's Eve with Georgia and Ohio State. Like, any team could have won that day.
Right.
It could have been all 4 matchups. So, I just loved it. That's what you want. And then you got to the finals, and then Georgia, they did their thing. They 65-7. It wasn't fun after the first quarter. You're like, TV announcers, they're just trying to make up time just to fill space. But you got to commend TCU for making it. To go 13-2 on the season is incredible. All the above, but it does show you the dominance as a whole. When you look at the last 18 years, the national championship, it's pretty much coming out of the SEC. I think Clemson's won it twice.
Yep.
Maybe I think Florida State won it 2013. Other than that, it's SEC football. And when you see the draft that takes place in April and May, like you'll know how good your team is because most of the SEC players get drafted, and a lot of times I think it's unfair to nowadays to say who won the most bowl games, SEC, ACC, Pac-12, because a lot of the SEC guys, honestly, they're either opting out to go pro or you're in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening there, and it's what's taking place now. The NIL transfer portal, that's kind of dominating the whole college atmosphere. But to see the dominance of Georgia to go, I think they're the fifth team in the history to ever go 15-0 undefeated is pretty incredible. And back-to-back seasons, like it shows you, the road runs through Athens and Georgia football right now.
Yeah, man. Just pure dominance, man. Like, I was just watching that game. It's like the wide receivers and the tight end. I mean, they're just running wide open. But the real game seemed like it was played at the line of scrimmage, man. Like the offensive line, like was it Stetson Bennett had all day to throw. They ran that 3-man rush the whole entire game. It seems like, and even if they rush more, I just feel like even if TCU blitzed, they still wouldn't have got it. Because they just got better athletes along the offensive front, man. It was just,
He, I think Stetson Bennett, last time he was sacked was in October. I mean, think about it. Now,
crazy.
That's playing clean now. Your jersey's clean. It's a pretty good day. And the game is won in the trenches. And if you listen to Kirby Smart's interview at the end of the game last night, the last thing he talked about was his scout team. He said our scout team gave us maybe a better look than TCU's actual first-team defense.
Right.
That's what they were facing. I mean, think about that. That was a step down to playing the game. I mean, it wasn't, but it was just like, that's the amount of great players that they have, the backups that they have, and then the actual look that they get in practice, not just, a bunch of, scrubs or walk-ons that they can just kind of, it's not even competitive in practice. So they make every day competitive. It's proven worthy. There's a reason why you go back-to-back seasons, win national championships, and, they're holding up that trying to get 3. So it tells you, something good's going on there.
And then when you saw the fourth quarter when the freshmen came in, they were still aggressive, dominant. I mean, the quarterback came in and the backup quarterback came in firing. I was like, what? This is going to be next year's team.
Yeah, man. It's just athletes.
They've already got they're like, I think the first game Georgia plays next year is Tennessee Martin. Like, Tennessee Martin, can you do better than 65-7 that TCU just faced? Like, that's 8 months of misery thinking about that. So start game planning now. But no, it's impressive what Georgia's doing. But I think what's really going to be cool though is I think it's 2025 is when they go to the 12-man 12-man championship.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
And so honestly, I was happy with the 4 teams that made it because we talked about how great that the Final Four games were.
Semifinals.
Yeah, semifinals. So, but when you get the final 12, 2 years, I guess that's when it's going to be. It'll be a showdown with a lot of great teams and have the matchups, and you can get more upsets that take place because you had to win a couple more games and maybe have to deal with the injuries along the way too. So we'll see.
I want to ask about FSU because they peaked at the second half of the season, and I mean, Travis might be a Heisman Trophy candidate next year. Just the way he just ascended game after game, it was incredible.
Yeah, I think Florida State won 10 games this year. That's a long time since probably 2013, 2014 since they've done that. And but quarterback play, Travis Jordan, he's played great. I mean, he's a leader on that team. You can tell it. And then they're unbelievable. They got all the running backs that they got. Then he's getting, I don't know how many yards he's getting with his legs too, but just a competitive kid, loves football, and they feed off of each other. And they've made a killing in the transfer portal too the last 2 years. So, but it's fun to see Florida State football relevant again. It's not quite ready for. Don't come after Georgia and Alabama quite yet. You know what I mean? Be careful what you ask for, but it's coming, and they're building the program. That's where you got to give Mike Norvell credit. Like, as big as a dip as it took, it's on the rise as far as getting the players back, and then just the atmosphere. Now the Tomahawk Chop is starting to become real again. You know what I mean? The attitude, the enthusiasm of Florida State football, and to be relevant is a big deal.
Because if you look back to the win against LSU, second game of the season, and where LSU ended, that ends up a much bigger win than people thought it was at the time.
It did. You going into the game, you didn't think LSU was coming off of. You didn't know where they stood either. You know what I mean? It took them a while to kind of figure out their lane too. But both teams, they kind of both had great years. They both won 10 games, and they opened up the season next year. But yeah, I mean, Florida State, they kind of gave them confidence, and fun to watch it. Fun to watch them have success.
Yeah, I agree, man. I was gonna ask you. I know we kind of just touched on it briefly. Like, what do you think about this NIL stuff, man? I mean, some people are saying that obviously they were trying to bring equality and stuff like that, but now it's just like some people feel like it's kind of separating the gap more because the richer programs like the Michigans, the Florida States, the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, now they're even getting more of the top talent because they got more money, to kind of pay these guys or more deals or whatnot. I mean, do you think that's kind of separating the gap between some of these programs?
I think it will. I think some will falter here and there, but yeah, I do. I think there's more. I mean, you got freshmen coming in, 17-year-old kid. Can you imagine asking for money? I mean, It used to be a brown bag where it was illegal, and that was taking place. I'm sure a lot of it still is. If we're being real, you know what I mean. But now you got NIL money, which is real, and kids are some kids are making a lot, but then some kids aren't making any money on those teams, and then you get jealousy, and then you get what's called entitlement. This is what I don't like for kids. You know what? If he's making more money than I am, I'm leaving. I'm going to the portal, or I want more money, or I will leave in the portal. Right. Start demanding money. I feel like you're worthy by your play, and I wish it was just pro money, but it's NIL money, and so I guess it's great for kids to make money, obviously, and but it's just there's a little bit of entitlement that's taking place that I'm not really a fan of, to be honest with you. In the NIL department, what's taking place with some of these, because now some of these coaches that promise these freshmen some money, some of the best players are not playing because you promised some kids some money, and then the boosters come involved, and then I want my money back, or if I'm giving you so much money, if I'm making a big donation to a school, and this allotment, this 50,000, this 100,000, this 500,000 is going to a certain kid, and that's real money. It does take place. They're going to play some kids over some of the better players, to be honest with you. That is the truth.
Right. Yeah. I think I've kind of heard and seen a lot of that, man. Kind of transpiring. It just seems like ever since like the transfer portal and, the NIL and stuff like that, like, I'm happy to see it, but it's just like, you don't know where these programs fall, man. I mean, it's just like, are they going to be good this year? Do we have enough money to pay these guys? Like we already know the Michigans, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the USC now. I mean, they're going to be there, but is still. I mean, it's just incredible what TCU kind of do. You know what I mean? Like I know they probably got some NIL money, but they probably ain't got like Georgia.
They don't have that money. No, they don't have that money.
So, but
it was interesting in the press conference last night. Kirby Smart said he was thankful that he had a bunch, like a handful of players who were set to transfer, and he asked them to stay and win a championship first, and they did that. And he said they hurt themselves by not leaving earlier, but they were committed to the team to finish the season. And he said his job, today, 24 hours later, is to make sure those players are okay who are transferring out of the Georgia program, which is different. To hear a coach say that at the press conference.
And I could imagine being a head coach nowadays. I mean, is it high school recruiting? Is it transfer portal? Is it paying to keep your players? Is it paying to get players? Or what do we have to do to win? What do we have to do? What do they have to do to keep their job? So it's winner take all. I don't know if it's good for everybody. I'll be honest with you. I think it's great that people make money and stuff, but I think it's becoming honestly a little bit corrupt. I mean, that's just my true evaluation of it.
No, honestly, I kind of feel like the same way. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at it like they need to find a way at some point to maybe regulate it, man. Because it's getting really dangerous. Like maybe I don't know how they can do it. I guess they can't do it like make it a pro sport. I mean, I look at college football as honestly like a pro sport. Just in my opinion. I mean, I don't look at it as I understand it's a collegiate sport, but I mean NCAA basketball and football, those are pro sports. Either way you look at it, It's up there with the MLB, NFL, NBA, the MLS, hockey. That's just my opinion. I don't know, which way they can do it. I think they just need to start kind of just paying these guys like pros, in my opinion, because that's the only way. Otherwise, it's just going to be more of, these same teams at the top that really have, the real money.
They are, but not everybody has the same amount of money. Yeah. That's the problem. So, the top are going to stay at the top, and the other ones, they don't have the money. They can't keep up with that as a whole, not year in and year out.
Yeah, I agree, man. Let's segue into some Bucs stuff, man. So, obviously, I'm a Bucs fan, man. I mean, you Super Bowl, the Bucs to their first ever Super Bowl win, man. And I know you kind of took a lot of pride in that. And I know we kind of chopped it up a little bit before the show, man. They kind of struggled all season long, man. I don't know have you tuned into a few games this season?
Yeah, I've watched some games here and there, and I actually went and saw Atlanta play. I saw the Bucs play Atlanta the other day in Atlanta, but they kind of tanked that game because a lot of guys didn't play, and Brady only played a quarter and a half. So, really their whole focus was they knew they were going to play the Cowboys pretty much. So, kind of getting ready for that game. But like 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, it was they had a bunch of free agent moves. I think they had 10 or 11 big time guys come in there, Fournette and Gronk and all that kind of stuff. A lot of moves were made. Yep. And then last year they kind of got through it a little bit, but their defense was unbelievable that year. Tom was on fire. Got hot. They were 7-5 at one point, and then ended up winning out. And then last year they were a little bit up and down a little bit, and then they had to kind of get blown out by the Rams, honestly, at home. And then they made a great comeback, had a chance to win it. But then this year I feel like they just got old fast, to be honest with you. They struggled. They've had some injuries. We talked about a little bit on the offensive line. Hadn't been able to really run the ball that great as a whole. And then, defense has been up and down a little bit. They had some shutouts early, but then they kind of gave it up a little bit. Then you feel like, Tom, is he hot or cold today, or those kind of things. So it's just, they're 8-9. It's where they are. But the great thing is they made the playoffs. They won the division. It's hard to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And for a team full of veterans, you never know how this thing's going to go in the playoffs because it is the Wild Wild West. Cowboys are up and down a little bit too, so it's going to be see where they are. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I had a question. So watching the Bucs, whenever they go into a hurry up offense and they speed up the offense, they're super successful. It seems like. And from a quarterback's perspective, what is that as far as the difference from being in control and running a hurry up offense versus huddling? And it just seems like there's penalties and it slows down, and they struggle in the slow down offense. But whenever they move it, push the pace, and go hurry up, they move the ball with ease.
Yeah, it's hard to do that for a whole game. You don't have enough players like you do in college. Like, you really only have 21 guys on offense. You only have 4 receivers, 5 receivers maybe, and then the injury list. And can you keep up to do that the whole game for a whole season? I don't know. But usually in a 2-minute situation, the hardest thing is if you can get the first down, just the first down, and then you just feel like you're rolling. The defense gets on the heels. The defense coordinator can't go over there and look at his play sheet and dial up some blitz. Now, but if you have a delay, if you have a ball that goes out of bounds, a clock stoppage, then he can start dialing up his defenses on you. So it is kind of a momentum thing. Tom probably has his favorite 6 or 7 little concepts of plays, and he just has a way of doesn't feel like he ever. Honestly, with him, he doesn't ever feel panicked. Like, he's got to take the shot. He's not afraid to throw the 5-yard flat, the check down, let guys get yards after the catch, and then all of a sudden he's going to thread you with a couple seam routes, and we're celebrating again. So,
oh yeah.
He's incredible to watch, and I tell people a lot of times that John Elway, playing against John Elway, you always feel like you might be up 2 scores, 14 points, but you feel like Darth Vader's on the other side. Elway's going to find a way to beat you. And it's the same thing a little bit with Tom. It's Peyton Manning the same way. You just do you have enough points to beat him sometimes? It's just the doubt that he puts in you, but the belief he puts in his team. And so it's fun to watch what he's done. He's 45 years old. I can't imagine.
Crazy.
It's fun to watch him do it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I know they've kind of been off to up and down, start to the year. And like I said, it's playoff times. I mean, obviously playoffs, anything can happen, man. A lot of what I've seen, man, kind of like we were talking about before you came on the show, is just the offensive line, man, with his center going down, Ryan Jensen, Pro Bowler and All Pro, center, and then the retirement of Ali Marpet, who was at that right guard spot. I mean, there's two young guys. I think it was Robert Hennessy and so I forgot the other guy who's at right guard. Those are young guys, man, and I think it's their first time starting in the NFL for an organization. And you combat that with, I mean, the Bucs. What they kind of do a lot of is, they pass the ball a lot. They can't run. They can't get any push. And it just seems like for me, like the play calling, man. And I speak for a lot of Bucs fans. It just seems like we don't really stick to the run consistently. And then when we do run, it's just like we run it out of 3 and 4 wide sets, which kind of makes no sense. So, I mean, I wanted to ask you just from a quarterback's perspective, like how important is a run game to kind of set up the pass? Because it seems like we pass to set up the run, and everybody's just dropping in coverage, and there's no windows to throw the ball to.
Yeah, players matter. I mean, injuries. You don't ever make excuses, but there's a reason why they vote guys to Pro Bowls. There's a reason why guys to win. And the teams that are healthy, like 17 games in preseason, it's a lot of games. It's 20 games to get to where we are now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they've tried to expand the rosters, but there's a difference between a first string guy and a second string guy.
Yeah.
But then you get a second string guy in there, then all of a sudden it's not the same rhythm that you have. And you think even for receivers, the same standpoint. Like last year, I think he lost Godwin. He lost Antonio Brown. He runs off with his shirt off. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, who wants to play?
Right.
Has left the building.
Yeah.
But then is Julio Jones, is he playing this week? Is Leonard Fournette, is he feeling good this week? And then who's playing, taking a snap from a different center? Like, just the rhythm of the game, all that stuff matters. And so I think, sometimes I feel like Tampa, they've gotten into throwing the ball. We're going to throw it 50 times a game, and we'll just put it on Tom, and he can throw check downs, and, hopefully hit a big one every now and then, but like it catches up to you.
Yeah.
And so not that you want over a game, you really want 50 plus plays. Even if it's for a yard gain, a 2-yard gain, it's a plus play. But you don't want to be taking sacks, getting hit, all the above. And then you don't, even though you may not be running the ball well, you just still got to make it real, like it might happen. You know what I mean? And where it's effective, because I think where Tom is great is the play action game. I think he's phenomenal at it.
Oh, yeah.
And that just opens himself up. So when you watch a team like San Fran and Brock Purdy, like, honestly, they're throwing the ball 25 times or less.
Beautiful. And
so their running game is phenomenal. Their every run looks like a run. And when they pass it with a play action, it looks like a run. Yeah. Like it's not just a draw fake, heads are up, and you can tell like it all looks real. So it marries up. Right now, I don't feel like with Tampa, like you just the runs are just to run it, not to really establish the run and to get yards, and then to make it marry up with the play action game. They just there's a reason why they're rolling and Tampa's kind of limping into the playoffs. But again, these playoffs, anything can happen, so you never know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, man. We actually had the 49ers reporter on actually last night. His name was Matt Maiko, 49ers team reporter. You brought up a good point. How do you get those looks where you get, you look like, it looks like a run formation, but you're actually passing it. You brought up a great point. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, now when I do watch the Niners, it looks like they're about to run, but then they pulls it out really quick, and then guys are wide open. How do you get that look?
And I think a lot of their throws are simple throws. Like they almost know who they're throwing to. It may be a screen. It may be just a play action, hit a Kittle over the middle, but it all looks real. But their running game, I mean, you got guys attacking defensive linemen, like instead of our heads up and, blocking like on third down passing games. Like on their, if you look at San Fran's first and second down passes, I mean, it's either a short pass, it's a screen, it's a quick game, it's a play action pass. It's not just your standard 5 wides or 4, 3 wides, and like we're gonna start chunking down the field. So they got it rolling right now. And the other part, they usually are playing with the lead right now. Their defense is phenomenal, one of the best defenses in the league, and so they just they're on all cylinders right now with with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I agree, man. Let's talk a little bit more about the defensive side of the football. I think the defensive side, there's a gentleman, Shaq Berry. I know he's an edge rusher. I know he's out, man. It just seems like our edge guys, we just don't really have an elite edge outside of him. We don't necessarily. We don't really need an elite edge, but I mean, I think it was the gentleman's name, Joe Tryon. He's kind of come on here of late, but he just seems like he's just a little. He needs to get in the weight room, man. Like. When you were at the game, how big is this guy? He looks like he's like 225, 230.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He's young, yeah. So he was like their first round pick last year.
Yeah.
So he's developmental, young end. But he was supposed to be a depth piece. Now with Barrett's injury, he's in. It's no longer a slow progression. It's playoff time and you're in. It's showtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the stats though for going into this game, so Brady is technically 7-0 versus Dallas.
7-0, yep.
And the Cowboys have not won a road playoff game since 1992. And so when you look at history, you look at the numbers, you look at statistics, Bucs should be encouraged by those facts, and the fact that they've been building. If you look at the Bucs the last 3-4 weeks, if you're going to peak, it's the right time to peak as you go into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, it's tough, man. It's just tough to watch, Brad. Like each and every game, each and every week, each and every game, it just seems like we have 10 points heading into the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Arizona game and some of these other games is just tough to watch, man. But I guess just short and skinny. We'll probably just wrap up with this real quick. How do you see this outcome being with the Cowboys versus the Bucs, man? What do you think of that matchup? And how do the Bucs win? Do you think?
Yeah, well, it's a Monday night game. It's at home. I don't. They played last year and this year. Obviously, the Bucs have won, but I don't know if that really has anything to do with this game. To be honest with you, like even the 7-0 record for Brady, he might feel good about it, but like. The only one that matters is this one's Monday night. But I do think there's been a big point about it where Cowboys have struggled a little bit more on grass because they're built with speed, especially on the defensive line, and they haven't scored quite as many points. So actually, Dallas has had a great year this year, but they kind of messed up last week. Just didn't play. They
were they really playing?
Bad day against Washington. Yeah, they played.
No, they played.
They played the guys.
They played everybody.
Yeah, they played everybody. Yep.
Yeah, they got whooped, but it's a one-game showdown. So I really don't get into that.
Right.
I just think it's going to be a great game. I mean, they seem like the matchups the last two times that they played. This year, I think the first game of the season. Last year, I think it was a Monday night game also in Tampa, and it's just going to be a great matchup. Dak Prescott he's had some interceptions, some his fault, some not. With tip balls and those kind of things. But it'll be. I see a game in the low 20s, to be honest with you, and so we'll see what happens. I know the place will be electric, and I mean, it could be Tom Brady's last game ever. It could be his last game in Tampa. So there's a lot going on there to watch and to tune in on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm just like, how did they flex that to the Monday night game? I know as a player, Brad, did they have that when you were playing, like as far as flexing from like I don't think they did they?
They did not. They did not. It's terrible. I honestly, the people's safety about the league, about players, you having to play a Sunday game and then a Thursday game during the regular week. That's like, a Ford test dummy running to a Ford pickup truck, man. I mean, it's hard to recover in 72 hours to play a real game, but it's not fair to those guys, Dallas or Tampa, playing on a Monday night game because if you win. Now you're on a 6-day schedule.
Yeah.
To come back to get the film back. You may have to travel across country. It's really hard to recover on a 6-day schedule like this. And so some of those teams are playing on Saturdays, 2 games on Saturdays. I think 3 are on Sunday. And the 1 game on Monday night. But it's hard. It's not fair for those 2 teams, to be honest with you, to recover for the next week if you win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point because I'm just looking at this game. If we win, if everything kind of goes as planned, I mean, more than likely we'll probably be either playing in Philly or something.
Philly, coming up a bye week for Philly.
Yep.
It's either there or, 49ers or something like that. And I already chalked it up. If we play the Niners, it's just a bad matchup. There's no fucking with the Niners with the Bucs at all. I think I've seen that, played out enough. And I just don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
But, the Eagles, it's a game that I think it's a winnable game. Of course, Jalen Hurts. But, getting over this one is just a real test, right?
Purdy's still a rookie, though. It's his first playoff experience. What was that like for you, your first playoff experience and first chance?
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good season. I was in Minnesota, and we made a great playoff run. And then my first game was in Dallas for first playoff game. They went down and scored 7 points. We came right back. I threw a little halfback pass to Amp Lee. He went 40 yards. He ran 40 yards and going into the end zone. They knocked it out of the back of his thing. They caught a touchback. They go down and score 14-0. Then I throw a slant. And Kadri Ishmael was supposed to catch a slant. Deion Sanders, primetime, breaks in front of it. He intercepts it. I'm chasing primetime like this.
That ain't happening.
And Tom and I, we're good friends now. Like we played together at Florida State, but he's the only one that he didn't give it to me. He didn't high step me and put the hand in the back. He was good to me, but and it happens fast. And so, in the playoffs, it is almost a panic mode that comes into play here. Honestly, you're going to see this in one or two of the games where some of these quarterbacks, there's some great quarterbacks playing now, but you're going to see a panic mode take place, and you're going to see some quarterbacks throw 3 and 4 picks just because they feel like they got to get back in the game, where in a regular season they might just kind of just play it safe or ease their way back into it. But you just guarantee it. Watch it this weekend. You'll see one or two of the quarterbacks throw 3 or 4 picks. Which they ordinarily won't because of the pressure and then just the panic mode because it could be the last game of the season.
Yeah, it definitely could, man. Quickly before we get you out of here, man, you brought up a good point about Deion, your former college teammate, man. Obviously, we know with the job he did, at the college level. Now he's kind of moving up in class. He's now going to be the head coach at Colorado, man. He's just doing a magnificent job, man, especially on the recruiting landscape. And then obviously you already know he has that swag and that moxie and stuff.
You think?
I'm being modest, right?
With a nickname, Prime Time and Neon Dion.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy combination.
What do you think? They can really do some real damage with? Obviously it's going to take some time. Yeah. But what do you think? Deion's ceiling, is in the college ranks as a head coach.
It was fun to watch. I think the whole America was watching what he's doing this last 3 years. Obviously they killed it on social media, and you feel like you're in the team meeting room and hear all the speeches. And they got to the championship, I think twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not even sure, but they were on notice. You had game day there, following their games and all that kind of stuff. And then, so it was a matter of time. He's going to get a Power 5 job, and I think Colorado, they were 1-11 last year, something like that. Yeah. But he'll change it. He'll change the culture. He'll bring in some good players. Brings in a lot of wisdom. Obviously, we played for Coach Bobby Bowden. So, deep down in there, I hear a lot of wisdom about him and trying to make the impact on the kids. How they carry themselves in the classroom, how they walk around, how they treat others. And that stuff, the building character, all that stuff, it matters. It carries over to the field. But they're playing TCU, they're playing USC, they're playing UCLA, they're playing Utah. They got a tough schedule. So, Prime's going to have a little bit of patience. I don't know if they're going to go win 12 games next year, but he's definitely going to rebuild that program, and we're all going to be watching.
Yep.
Beautiful, man. One last question before we get you up out of here and close out, man. I don't know if you're allowed to or not, but got to get, going to be asking all our guests. Super Bowl prediction, man. Just starting now, playoffs are just about to start. Can you give us that?
Yeah, I got no clue. Honestly, I would say, Buffalo's been one of my favorite teams the last 2 years, just because of what they've been doing. But honestly, I think with Cincinnati and the Chiefs got the number 1 seed. It looks like Cincy and the Chiefs are to me, I'd kind of be hedging that way, and then Philly and the 49ers. Those two teams are rolling.
Yeah.
So I kind of those are my top 4 teams. Whatever happens, it happens. But it's gonna be great. I mean, you're talking about some great quarterbacks that are playing this whole thing. It's gonna be fun to watch it all play out.
Love it.
Yep, sure is.
Man. Brad Johnson, aka Big Bad Brad, with us.
All right,
man. But Brad, man, hey, you want to shout out anybody before we get you off of here, man?
No, I'm all good. All good, man. I appreciate
what's your TikTok and what's the address so people can follow you?
Yeah, on Instagram and Twitter, I post everything. Okay, Instagram and Twitter, it's Brad_Johnson_14, and then TikTok, it's Big Bad Brad 14. So I usually respond to all the people and try to make them be a part of what we're doing here. But it's fun to keep up with all those trick shots.
Love it, man.
Outstanding.
All right, Brad. We'll get you out of here, man. Like I said, thanks a lot for coming on, man. Brother, I'll probably be in Florida for the game. I'm hoping it's not a long, crazy trip back. I live in Maryland, so I'm flying out to Tampa for the game, man. But like I said, thanks a lot for coming on, and we'll definitely have you on again, brother.
All right, sounds great. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
So much.
All right, see you.
All right, man. All right, see you. All right, fellas. Brad, man. What do we think here, man? I mean, like I said, that was another great episode. It's always fun talking to Brad.
Hey, got to check out his TikTok. Some of those shots.
They're wild.
Basketball with a football and a basketball hoop. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah. Nah, I like the picks he had. To be honest with you, I wish we could have squeezed out like the last 2 because he picked 4 and just picked 2, but it's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah, like I said, I asked him, like, can you or can you not? He probably, he didn't want to, give us that.
Yeah, I feel it.
But I mean, we got to give ours, man. We got to kind of go through these games really quick, and we'll get up out of here, man. But people, I mean, like I said, it's playoff football time, man. It's playoff football time. What is this? Niner gang. Hey, shout out the Niner gang, man.
Niner gang on it.
Yeah, hey, my man, hey. That's what's up, man. Thanks for tuning in. I think you're new to the channel. Obviously, I had a guest on yesterday, Matt Maiko, man. And like I said, Matt's a great guest. I really enjoyed talking to Matt. He's always a very knowledgeable and noble guy, and he's just always fun talking to. And like I said, I always have big respect, for the 49ers because they beat the shit out of people, including us.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? They just punch people in the fucking face every game. It's just like they just slap the fuck out of people.
An interesting fact: they're expecting rain in San Francisco this weekend, so that's going to add to.
They're going to get pummeled.
Yeah, so the conditions are going to be another element of playoff time.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, man. It's just like their offensive and defensive line. Just Bosa. I mean, between the 2 best edges in the game right now is obviously, Watt once he gets back, and health to full health, and then Bosa now. But Bosa's now come on, and now he's that guy. Like he's him. You know what I mean?
Nick. San Francisco. His brother's been injured. I don't know if Joey's gonna be back for the Chargers. He's been injured.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Chargers playing all their folks in a meaningless game last week?
Bro, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, I want to bring Chris Harry back on. And for anybody that doesn't know Chris, I'm talking about Chris Harry, the Chargers reporter. But I don't want to be mean, man, because this head coach, dude. If you bet money on the fucking Chargers, something's wrong with you, dude.
I mean, Mike,
that surgeon too, crazy.
They're not blowing any more of my fucking money.
Yeah, so they lucked out.
They might mess around and lose this fucking weekend.
It was.
I think they will.
Yeah,
it ended up being back spasms, but I mean, they were saying he had to get carried off the field and then carried to the bus. Mike Williams last week, he got injured in the game, meaningless game that meant nothing. Got hit in the back, had to be helped off the field.
What does analytics say about that? He talks about analytics and all this shit all the time.
And the difference of the team with him and without him is night and day. When he plays, their whole offense is spread out and they are explosive. Without him, Keenan Allen gets doubled, and they got issues.
Yeah. Who was their second receiver outside of Mike? I know that Keenan Allen, Mike
Palmer. They got
Palmer. I'm about to say Palmer is pretty big though.
But he ain't,
he ain't not Mike. Come on now, you're right.
He's a better 3. He's a better 3 when Williams is there.
Yeah,
They put Palmer in the slot, and so he got hit in the back, got back spasms, collapsed on the field, and then they had to carry him off.
Right.
I think
that's
in the middle of the game, and so he had to be helped out by 2 people. After the game, they asked Staley, "Why are you playing all your players for almost damn near the whole game in a game that meant nothing?" I mean, they couldn't change their spot. They were going to play at Jacksonville no matter what, and he said basically he was going to do what he wanted to, what needed to do. Didn't think he had enough players to play other players, so he played the starters almost the whole game.
Yeah. I was just gonna say really quick, with Mike Williams, what that kind of does to their offense, it puts everybody in place. Keenan's 1, Mike's 2, and Palmer can
3.
go back. He can go back to
slot.
his original spot in the slot. You're putting Palmer at that second. Nobody's trusting Palmer against your second command corner. You ain't gonna beat no fucking body in man-to-man coverage.
And that's why their offense is dramatically different when Mike Williams is not there.
Yeah, and then you got the coach. You got the coaching. You got the coaching on top of it. This dude.
That was an unnecessary risk. I mean, he's on the hot seat now. If they lose at Jacksonville, I mean,
but the thing is like, how do you fire a guy? Because he's went to the playoffs the past 2 years.
Yeah,
they didn't go last year. Raiders beat them.
Yeah, we took him out. We kicked him out. But I mean, in general, before that they went. So I mean, in his tenure, he's been twice. But I don't know, man. It's got to come to the certain point that you got to hit a different level, and once again, that's too much talent to be wasted. They got the Denver Nuggets.
There you go. There you go. You said it. You said it. There's too much talent. Chargers should be beating the fuck out of people. They should be like the fucking Niners.
They should.
They just got too much talent, man. The offensive line is nasty. The receivers, they got Austin Eckler and I think was it Kelly or something at running back. He's still running pretty hard. And then their defense, I mean, it's still pretty solid.
They spent money on the corner from New England. I mean, they spent
J.C. Jackson.
Yeah.
You got Derwin James who's picking up people on body slam. I just visually remember
Khalil Mack and Mack and Bosa.
Yeah, I'm about to say Mack and Bosa. Yeah, like there should be no excuses. Injury happened for sure.
Most importantly, they got a quarterback who can sling it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the real deal. Yeah. But let's get to these games.
The coach is holding them back, which is crazy.
I know, right? I mean, as Washington, are y'all gonna fire your coach? What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
The Commanders. Jay, how you go? Is the left hand up? Show us how to dance, go, Jay.
We're not doing that. I'll drop the video if y'all want to see it.
Nah, brother. That's your squad. They took some left hand up.
So they did fire Scott Turner. So they fired Scott Turner. They fired their offensive coordinator.
They fired him?
Yeah. He got out of there earlier today. Yep. He's out there.
Wow. I mean, I'm surprised because you know how, I mean, he sucks, obviously.
Rumor is are they going to get another Ron Rivera friend? Because he typically hires his friends as coaches.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this just all boils back to our very first guest, man. Remember, what was the gentleman's name? How could I not remember the dude's name? Very first guest we had on the show, the college coach, man. Can't remember his name right now. He's going to kill me for it. Talking about the NFL and college football with these retreads, man. They can't get away from it, man. They just keep bringing these guys back. You know, they'll get fired, they get brought back and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they're talking
nobody
about
really gets a shot.
Kingsbury is a candidate, or the guy Nathaniel Hackett who just got fired in Denver. He's a candidate.
I'm sick of this guy. He should be banned from coaching after that shit. Motherfuckers bringing an assistant head coach or some shit to manage the games. What the fuck was that?
And then they won. They won. Well, I mean, it was a meaningless game for the Chargers, but he won his game. He's been retired. He was with the Ravens for years, been retired. They pulled him out of retirement to manage the game because their coach couldn't do it.
Hey, dude. Let's get to these games, man. Let's get to these games. Get out of here, fellas. So, Seattle, man, on the road. The big bad 49ers, man. Hey. I was just trying to hype it up. I was just, you know what I mean? How much do they beat these boys by, right? I mean,
it's right now it's -10.
I'm teasing the fuck out of it. I do a 3-team teasing, and with the Bills and Bills, Bengals, and Niners. I'm 3-team teaser. That 10 turned to -1. So for me,
it's the first game Saturday, 4:10.
Yep. So I got Niners. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a no-brainer for all of us, though.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, as far as the matchup goes, I mean, Seattle just doesn't have enough bodies to kind of like the Niners are just going to be pinning their ears back and just knocking people the fuck out.
Yeah, for those who bet props, Christian McCaffrey total yards.
Yeah,
is going to be a prop because Seattle gives up more yards to running backs than any team in the league, and so screen passes, passes with him out as a flanker. That is going to be he's going to dominate.
Easy. Yeah. Yep. Dog walk.
Hey, I gotta say this one thing. When I was editing a video last night, when I looked up like the Niner gang jump with the E40, I was like, yo, what the fuck is I was in that bitch. I was like, oh, this shit is kind of hard for real. You know? People was like, yo, really? The Niner gang? This shit is hard.
It's a Niner gang. It could have rain on game day. So that's going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, man. But I definitely got the winning. They're winning big, man. It's just, that second, what is it, divisional matchup, whoever, depending on who they play. If it's us, it's Kate. I'm betting on the fucking Niners, even with being a Bucs fan. But it's all about the money, man. But moving on. Let's see. The next game here on this list is, and that's a Saturday game.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday game. So same thing with this one. I'm probably talking about, right?
Yeah, late Saturday. Chargers at Jacksonville.
Yep, Chargers at Jacksonville, man. In Jacksonville. I'm calling an upset, dude. I mean, this coach, until they fire the fuck out of this dude, I don't trust the Chargers at all, man. I mean, they're just winning based off of pure talent with Herbert, Allen, Mike Williams, Bosa, Mack, James. I could go on and on. They're just winning off pure talent. He's not game planning. These dudes like, let's just go out here and play, man. But you can't do that.
That's gonna be a fun game. I mean, Trevor, the next generation quarterbacks, Trevor.
They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him. The Jags gonna get him because
they can get after him.
Doug Peterson ain't gonna be fucking around, man. He's gonna show him. I mean, what's up? Because coaches like that, they don't run regular season plays. During the they don't run playoff plays during the regular season, and that's one of the things that I'm waiting to see from the Bucs. Because I already know Bruce Arians had it. We brought all types of shit when he was on our team. Like I'm like, damn, where the fuck was this at all season? Where was this little new wrinkle? But Doug Peterson kind of falls into that same umbrella from the Andy Reid tree. You see all types of shit, and now Trevor Lawrence is that dude. From what I see, I got to go Jags here, man. Z, I know you looking kind of iffy with it.
Well, I was on the Chargers until last week. They're coming in beat up. I don't know why they played their starters so much.
Bro, it's the coach. Are you really surprised?
I mean, come on. And now I'm actually leaning Jacksonville. Jacksonville's about hot. Trevor Lawrence, as long as he doesn't make mistakes.
Yo, sweet.
I mean,
Jags,
yeah.
Jags.
But it's gonna be a great game. I mean, the atmosphere is gonna be good. You typically wouldn't think Jacksonville has a football hub. I mean, think about it. All the Florida teams are in the playoffs.
Yeah, so, Dolphins, Jags, and Bucs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We got some ugly ass records, but we in there. The records ugly as hell for real.
Ugly as hell, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Saturday night, so we all on the Jags in this one. The start of the Sunday games, fellas, man. So Dolphins going out to Buffalo. I think we already know how this is going to turn out. Man.
Still no word on Tua. Yes, no word on Tua. So we'll see. That's a huge difference. Without Tua, this is a blowout.
With Tua, it's a blowout.
Well, remember the last game at Buffalo, Tua kept.
Oh no, they remember that. You know how Buffalo gets down. Remember when y'all blew them the fuck out? Was it week 1 last year?
Yeah, last year we beat them, and then this year they paid us back.
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo doesn't fuck around. They remember shit, and then obviously with the thing happening to Damar Hamlin, he's now out of the hospital.
Yeah, good news. He's back in Buffalo. He's in a hospital in Buffalo now, so they're all encouraged, upbeat. They're going to be motivated. But if Tua plays, because Tua can hang with Josh Allen, they can put up enough points. It's going to be another shootout like it was the primetime game they played. If it's Skylar Thompson, this is going to be ugly.
Very ugly, very quickly.
Yeah, so that's everything for Miami. Who's going to be their quarterback?
I'll say this: even if Tua plays, in my opinion, they're beating the fuck out. But Buffalo's my Super Bowl pick.
Think about it. Tua beat them in Miami, and they barely won. What was it, 38-35?
That was in Miami.
Yep.
In
Miami,
Buffalo,
it was hot. It was hot. It was hot. That was early on in the season game, I think.
Yeah, it was the third game of the season, 21-19.
Oh, it's early. Yeah, the first 5 weeks honestly don't even matter. First 5 weeks because anybody can.
But I mean, even the game a couple weeks ago, 32-29, Buffalo beating Miami. Great game. I mean, it was back and forth. They just got him at the end. Who had the ball last?
Mm-hmm.
And it was. If
but it's a division opponent,
though. Tua can match. He can match Josh Allen throw for throw. But without Tua, they got no shot. It's going to be.
Yeah, I'm still going Bills though. I'm going Bills.
Bills Mafia, man. I mean, I just got to.
Well, yeah, they're motivated. They should dominate this game. But with Tua is the only chance. Without Tua, yes, if you're betting, bet it early because if they announce Tua's in, the number's going to move.
Yep.
Moving on, fellas. This game right here, dude. I know this Sunday there's 3 games. This 4:30 game. I don't know who the fucking pick.
Giants.
You motherfucker! I already knew you was gonna do that shit. Hold on, Z. So So tell us, Jay. This is your center stage, your spotlight. Why are you picking the Giants, man?
Oh yeah, I think that Vikings actually has not looked impressive the past few weeks. I think the Giants are surging, and also last but not least, fuck Kirk Cousins because he ain't gonna do it on big time Showtime, baby. He's not getting you nowhere. He's out of here. Get him out of here. He's done.
The unique part of this game, it is a rematch. Vikings won the first battle 27-24.
This could be a bad.
Interesting. I think they played that game in England. Didn't they play that in London? Was that the game they played in England?
Yeah, that was the game.
Yeah,
they won by field goal.
Yeah, 27-24.
Like I said, we know these games. I bet that shit, and I was mad as hell. Cause like, how the fuck are they about to lose to the goddamn Giants? You know what I mean? And yeah, I think.
And Daniel Jones trying to get that contract too, so he didn't step it up. So I mean,
Giants are fully rested. Nobody played.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, how far has Kenny Golladay fallen? He was playing. And he scored. He actually scored the last touchdown for the Giants. Oh, he's still on the team. Never knew the highest paid guy in the team who never played one game all season.
Coach of the year is what? Brian Daboll. I mean, was the Giants that team? Nope. Nobody picked him to win over 4 games.
He's possible. Nobody. I mean, I'll put a vote in for Tomlin.
Come on, man. Man.
Think about it. They were literally 2-6 and ended up 9-8 with a winning record. The improvement from when they were the improvement of the Steelers when they were 2-8 to where they were at the end, winning what? I mean, think about it. To make the playoffs, they had to win the last 7, and the Dolphins had to lose the last 8. Dolphins lost 7.
Things broke right for them, though. They do that every year, though. Like this Giants team, nobody expect them to win over 3 games.
He's a candidate, yeah, but I'll throw Tomlin in. There's a possible.
Watch you win. Watch you win. It's got.
Or Shanahan, he's made miracles with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think what he's kind of done with the Giants.
So think about it. Purdy's really their third quarterback.
Like, who are the receivers? Like, does anybody know who the Giants receivers are other than Golladay?
Who doesn't play? Golladay doesn't even play. I know they were.
We don't know him.
David Sills. Only reason I know David Sills is because he went to West Virginia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Is he on the team? Does he even play?
He's one of the receivers. He's actually.
There you go. He runs like a 4.7.
Yeah, I was like,
like a 4.7.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, I run a 4.7.
Yeah, this is his. He's been on the practice squad. He's finally basically his first year active is this year.
Yep, Richie.
3 years on the practice squad.
Oh no, I gotta give it to Rome though, because I'm looking at these wide receivers: Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins. All I know is Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
Like,
Slayton, but I forgot about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is like, remember that? Was Inside the NBA where they played a little game like who he played for and shit? Mm-hmm. We should do a game like who are the Giants receivers and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I would have done it. Would have lost.
It's literally crazy. But yeah, in this game, just short and skinny before we move on to the next one. Shit, man. Kirk Cousins, fuck. I'd take the Giants. Yeah, man. I got to. I'm sorry. See who you got. Who wins? I still like Kirk. Kirk's still, he's still nice.
At this point, I mean,
look at Z.
I'll have to take the Vikings because
okay.
And I've hated the Vikings. I've bet against the Vikings all the time, and their numbers are brutal. I mean, I don't know how they won so many games, and their point differential. They've given up so many more points than they have scored. They've won so many one-score games at the end of the game. Talk about the luckiest team, everything breaking in their favor. Yeah.
It's got to come to an end.
All good things must come to an end. So, Giants,
the most disrespected 13-4 team, I think, ever. Minnesota Vikings.
All right, next game, Bengals, man. Bengals at home with the Ravens. Yeah, easy enough. This Bengals.
Again, watch the line. If Lamar goes in, the line's going to move. But right now, it's at 6.
Does Lamar play? Do you think Lamar is going to, I mean, is Lamar? I mean, what do you do? Like
now it's
do you play
with the contract because he's basically saying sore knee. I'm not practicing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm all over the Bengals. I just can't wait till this game start. That's my big money bet, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to fuck away with this Bengals bet.
At 6.
Bengals are going to kill him.
I mean, Bengals at home, playoff game, -6. Got to go with the Bengals. And then if you get surprised, if you take it early, and then Anthony Brown is the quarterback. Now at -6.5, it's telling you that Huntley is probably going to start because Anthony Brown last week was -14.
So Lamar, is he saying he's not going to start? That's what it looks.
He hasn't practiced yet. So
wow, and today's what, Tuesday? I mean, guys out there. I think he's done. I mean, I hope Lamar. They just need to just kind of trade him.
They're going to franchise him, so he's going to be franchised because they just signed Roquan Smith.
They're gonna have to tag and trade him. They're gonna have to franchise tag and trade him.
They can tag him 3 years in a row. The Kirk Cousins game, 3 years of tagging him.
Oh my gosh,
so he can't do nothing. So they own him. They own his contract for 3 more years.
That's some whole shit. Whatever.
Yeah, man. But in this game, I ain't gonna spend too. I'm taking the Bengals. Man.
They're
gonna win big. Yeah. Let's see. Next game, man. The last game actually. Monday night, man. Monday night for whatever the reason.
Drum roll. Making you wait all weekend for your game.
This is it's tough, man.
And then they added Monday. You gotta wait all day Monday too.
Yeah, hey, Big Z and Jay, I gotta tell y'all something. Like I've been hitting up some people, man. I hope they're listening, to the podcast. I've been trying to make this trip to go out here to Tampa, right? The Cowboys fans. You're not hitting me back. Like, yo, you want to get these tickets or flight or you with the hotel or leave me on red. Leave me on red. Like, y'all want to make the trip or what? What we gonna do? You know what I mean? They act like they don't want to make that trip.
Yeah.
So regardless of the situation, I'll probably be out there, man. I definitely want to go ahead and see this game. But obviously I got to take the Bucs, man. I'm just hoping and praying. I wasn't gonna be disrespectful because Brad was on, man. But Donovan Smith, man. I hope they please get this guy some fucking help, man. I'm sick of seeing this shit every goddamn week out here, man. Him, Carlton Davis, and Jamel Dean at those cornerback slots, man. If Dak comes out there and he's right, those corners, they'll give you all of what you want. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's there for the taking.
On the other
side, Z, remember those games where like, yo, who in the hell is now I see what you're talking about. Every last one of those guys, Z was texting me during the game, like, yo, I see what you're talking about. These guys suck.
Oh my God. It's like that? All right.
I mean, here's the Bucs' hope. Sam Howell lit up that one, the DB on the other side of Diggs. I don't know who he is, that corner, Brown. Sam Howell went after him every play. I'm talking about he must have been studying that film. He's like, nope, where you at? Number 3? Bam! I mean, and then they had McLaurin on him, and McLaurin went crazy. I mean, that dude, he got exposed. So Tom was watching that same film. If the rookie was killing him last week, Tom's sitting there like, oh, That's going to be a straight up bullseye. Move Mike Williams over, then give Mike Williams a break, put Godwin on him.
Yep.
You don't have to throw at any other guy. That guy is terrible. I mean, I'm just like,
he's terrible. That's funny as shit.
Oh my gosh, he's horrible. Because you would think, okay, McLaurin's an all-pro. Makes sense that the all-pro is killing him straight up all through the first half. But then they rotated and they put Jahan Dotson. As soon as he went on Jahan Dotson, Howell was like, all right, sorry, Terry. Where's he at? Oh, there's Dotson.
We tearing up there.
They sprang the fuck. I gotta say this. Washington beat the fuck out of the goddamn Cowboys. I had money on the goddamn Cowboys. What the fuck is going on out here?
And Cowboys had the whole crowd. They took over the stadium and watched the beatdown.
Well, that's not hard in Washington.
Yeah.
They out there. They got to wear New Balances. Jay, where your New Balances at, man? You know what I mean?
I gotta get a new pair. I dog mine. I gotta get a new pair for the gym. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most comfortable shoes out there. You feel me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just from that perspective, Tom watching that film, and so expect the same type of thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Bucs fans, man, I'm just hoping and praying.
Be encouraged. Based on
we should really win this game, man. I mean, I just hope we don't lose off some bullshit. Like, do what we've been doing the whole season, have 10 points going into the fucking fourth quarter, and we lose off of some dumb, some goofy stuff. Because this is the last year with Tom Brady, man. And like I said, it's been a hell of a ride. He's probably going to end up going to Vegas. And, I'm just happy and proud that, we won a championship with him. But I don't want to just throw dirt over the boys now. We definitely should win this game, in my opinion. I think if we come up with a pretty solid game plan and, throw the ball deep, man. I mean, you saw what happened when we played Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Evans is slept on with his speed, with his go routes. He's fast as shit. Remember what he did in the playoffs last year to Jalen Ramsey? Torched him. We were getting blown out, and he was just toasting Jalen Ramsey. Mossing him, he burnt
everything.
Him, you know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously I'm taking the Bucs. Jay, who you got in this game, man?
Come on now. You don't even know why you even asked me.
I gotta ask you just because.
Come on, man. We're not rooting for Dallas. Fuck Dallas.
Okay. Dallas.
Fuck Dallas. Yeah, hell no.
Yeah,
they just lost. They just lost to Washington to a rookie quarterback with all their players. Fuck out of here, man.
Z, man, did you already make your pick? No, actually, no, you didn't. Z, who you picking, man?
I'm thinking the Bucs win and that Daron Bland, the corner. I know Tom Brady watching the same film. And he said if Sam Howell in his first start was torturing that dude, I mean,
let's come to life. Let's come to life. Like I said, Bucs fans, don't sit your old asses down, man. Like I said, we're standing there last time in the playoff game. They're like, yo, sir, can you sit down? I'm like, bro, it's the playoff game. Don't sit your old ass down. You know what I mean? Some old motherfucker. I can't see. You're too big. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Shut the fuck up. You know?
Get a booster seat.
Yeah, do something, man. It's a playoff game. He's sitting there sitting down. Like it's a regular season. He's supposed to stand up the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? They sitting there. I know Florida's an old person state, but God damn.
It is. Retiring.
Yeah, and I saw it, man, because it was just nothing but old ass people there. But yeah, man. I mean, let's close out with the bets, fellas. So what do we got as far as bets for this weekend? What you guys got?
I mean, I'll be pretty quick with mine. Go with the favorites. I don't see a lot of wiggle room with the favorites. If you don't want to bet closer games, more so like the Jaguars or Chargers, you don't have to stay. You can stay away from that. Tampa Bay Bucs, it's a lock for me. That's one of the ones. Cincinnati easily running them over. 49ers running them over. Buffalo Bills is one of the surefire ones to me, in my opinion, even though they can trade with them. But I would say just keep it safe at this point. If you want a dicey one you want to throw up in the air, at the very least, you can leave the Buffalo and Miami alone and go with Jags. Probably more bang for your buck.
Yeah, man. I'll go really quick. For me, kind of looking at these, like I said, I'm only looking heavy I'm talking about heavy dollars on 3 teams: the Bengals, the Bills, and the Niners. I'm talking about heavy cash, man. I mean, 3-team teaser with those 3 teams.
Over.
Yeah, it's done. I'm already locked mine in. I already got mine going a few different ways with those 3 teams. And I gotta look at let me pull up the schedule. So it looks like, Saturday is the Niners, and then I'm taking the Jags, so I'm definitely teasing that. I'm gonna tease that 9.5 or whatever the hell it is down, and then I'm gonna play around and tease with the Jags. So I'm gonna get plus points with the Jags at home, and have the Niners with probably like a -5 or 6 or something like that, maybe even less. So and then on Sunday, you got the Bills 1 o'clock. You can kind of play with that with the 9.5 or 9 now. But like I said, my kind of lock bet is just the Bills, the Niners, and Bengals, man. Like I said, the Bengals are just gonna. I just can't even see the Ravens making it a game. To be honest,
especially if they're playing Anthony Brown.
Yeah,
and then realize they just played last week.
Yeah. Those are my bets, man. As far as for the Bucs, I'm definitely playing around with the Bucs too. I'm going to tease them, because I just don't want that offense to come out there off some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they mess around and do some goofy stuff. So, but yeah, those are my bets. And then from an NBA perspective, definitely been playing around here with the Cavs. I'm not taking the Nets until Kevin Durant comes back. I'm not touching them. But I was definitely getting big money with the Nets. I do like the Toronto Raptors against some teams and stuff like that. They can sneak up on some people with Pascal Siakam and some other guys. And then the Golden State Warriors.
Steph Curry back.
For the Warriors. That's what I said. Yeah. Wiggins is back, and I'm back on the Warriors right now. So those are my bets for the NBA side. So Big Z, what you got, man?
So NFL, I'm gonna ride with what's paid me the last 7 weeks. Is Bengals spread? They've covered the spread 9 weeks in a row. I'm not gonna get off playoff time, so I took them already at 6.5. Line is moving in my favor. It's at 7.5 now. I like Joe Burrow. I love his confidence. If you saw his press conference after the game, they asked him, "How long is your window to win a Super Bowl?" He said, "As long as my career goes, is my window to win a Super Bowl. Because as long as I'm here, we got a shot."
Talk to him, bro. Talk to him.
How could you not love that dude?
Like I said, Joe Burrow, man, he different, man.
And he's wearing a white turtleneck. A reporter had the nerve to ask him, "So how long of a window do you feel you had to win a Super Bowl? Is there you urgent to win it this year?" And he said, "Well,
what?
My entire career is my window."
I'm gonna say it's urgently to do it every year if you can. Come on, man.
So that's the only bet I've made so far for the weekend. I'm eyeing San Francisco, eyeing the Bucs at home, eyeing Buffalo, but right now, only thing in my account right now is Bengals -6.5.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a bet, man. But that's it, man. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. I know we've been on a roll, fellas. 2 nights in a row here. Matt Maiko, the 49ers, and then tonight, Big Bad Brad Johnson. Like I said, it was definitely fun, man. It was definitely fun, but we gotta pace ourselves, right? Because I was just like, damn, I forgot how fun this is, but it's also a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of work to kind of sit here and talk.
So it's that time of year, playoff time. Everybody's fired up. Let's go.
I know, right? But yeah, man. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing the show. Just appreciate all the support, the likes, and everything. So we'll see you next show, man. Enjoy your playoff weekend, and we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.